Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? A gracious good morning to you, good people. It's your girl KB. You know what I do, and you know why I do it. It is Thursday. It's February 19th, and it's 4:07 in the a.m. And I am now looking at my various web browsers and seeing a bit of news that may prove to be problematic for this current administration. Yeah. The black ops of this current administration is about to be exposed in a very real and very nasty way. Uh, the dethroned royal that's on that magic list has been arrested. Yeah, who the thunk it? Yes, Prince Andrew it's being reported that Prince Andrew has been arrested, uh, which highlights the lack of accountability that's being done and hidden and all the other cloak and dagger clandestine things that are going on uh, here in this country. Man, the United States, or maybe the not so United States, is about to become an island because of this individual that we have in office whose name is mentioned, I think they said 38,000 times. 30, 38,000 or 380,000. I know the number is astronomical. Now, there are people being mentioned all over the map that have nothing to do with. It's just chatter. And those names are being thrown out there to deflect from the so-called power brokers. So I'm going to ask that you do your due diligence when you're reading the list or reading any news about the list. Uh, do some research to see what's what. So like I said, some names are mentioned that were just mentioned. Um, but the people who should be held accountable, who weren't held accountable, or people who did early checkouts, if you catch my drift in that phrase, I'm wondering now just how deep and dark this thing goes. There's more tunneling than Escobar. And every time I hear something new, I think about the documentary The Family, which is the white Christian nationalists who control the movings and shakings in DC. Again, the movie is named The Family. You need to see it. It should be on the major streaming services. I believe I saw it on Prime and Netflix at one point in time. But you need to see how the people move in the so-called Christian setting. And I say so-called because they've forgotten about Christ. It's about money, power, for me, disrespect. So yeah, check that movie out. But also, let's demand the same things that Europe is demanding of their leaders. There was a story in today's news blast that an individual, I believe it was Korea, I'm not sure, I'll have to double check this now, was jailed for life for trying to impose martial law. Jail for life. I saw another story about an Argentinian woman who went to Brazil and got into some kind of kerfuffle. Yes, I use that word. In a bar, and made a racist gesture. She was making monkey noises and monkey sounds at the staff, as she exited based on this altercation. And now she's being held, must wear an ankle monitor, because racism, or acts of racism, should I say, are illegal. So she got to another country and decided to be her spectacular self, and found out. Yeah, folks. Now, people keep asking me, and I get this a lot, why am I spending so much time talking about issues of race? When I started recording, I was talking about issues of faith. They're inextricable to me. I talk about issues of race because it impacts me. I talk about issues of faith because you're not. I talk about issues of race because everything about my DNA is in the process of being erased from the record books. Now, the only part of my DNA that is not being discussed is the Welsh-Irish piece. I share African, specifically from Nigeria, okay? Welsh-Irish, and indigenous. And the majority is the Nigerian and indigenous. And see, there are a lot of African Americans who have indigenous ancestry for various reasons. Slaves being run away and adopted, slaves being held in servitude, or generational marriages. I am of the marriages portion, or the marriage portion that was generally accepted at that time. My family knows tribal identity. There are some members of my family that can speak portions of the language. And I discovered there are portions of my family with Haitian ancestry. So there's some French influences. And there are people in my family I shared that have Latino roots, as Puerto Rican or Hispanic Roots, I don't know what the buzzword is for uh, folks of Latin heritage, because we have so many. And I read something the other day when people were paying tribute to Jesse Jackson, and I identified heavily with it. It's like, I am of a generation. I was born at a time. Early on, I was considered Negro. Then I moved to colored. Then I moved to black. Then I moved to African American. I identify heavily with black. Now, I know there's a lot for you to digest in this little blip, but I say chomp away and get up, get into it, get involved.